I don't believe in God. I know God.
I love me some Jesus.
You're doing too much.
That's crazy. That's on the next episode.
It's the moon reading.
I rock with you, YaYa.
It's all love.
They better listen to this advice. We good.
You crazy, girl.
This is what this show is about, all right? We
Put
keep
the
it real.
real and real talk, the God in God talk.
And that's a wrap. Today is Tuesday, November 20th, and you're listening to Real Talk on Godtalk, a podcast for people who skip church for brunch on Sundays. How you doing, YaYa?
I am doing okay. I feel like the end of the year is just running up on me right now. Like this is a stick up. I have so much to do. It's crazy. But how about you? How you living?
Straight facts. The end of the year is coming, and I'm just like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. You wait.
Right.
But I mean, you can't hold time. So here we go. Roller coaster, right? So that's it.
Right. So last week's episode was super fun.
Yeah. Wait, all of our episodes are fun.
Right. Right. All of our episodes are fun. And we want to make more content more often for you guys. But we do need to know that if we increase the frequency of our episodes, the people will actually listen. One way to increase the number of listeners is by getting to the top of iTunes' new and noteworthy section. But to do that, we need your help. If you've had as much fun as we have and you want to keep the party going, we are asking you to do 3 things. Easy peasy. First, subscribe so that when we update our episodes, you'll just receive it to your phone. 2, rate us 5 stars, please. That would be nice. And 3, just take 2 seconds, write a quick review. Something as short as, we love YaYa and TRUTH. They're so great. That would be enough.
Absolutely. And in fact, as an incentive, we're actually hosting a giveaway on Instagram. We got some real dope Real Talk on God Talk swag, a lovely ceramic coffee mug with the Real Talk on God Talk logo and our tagline on it just for you.
I want one.
Right?
Like, I can't believe it. We're giving it away and I don't even have one.
Right? For real. That's how much we love y'all.
I know, right?
So remember, go on to iTunes, rate and review us, screenshot your rating, and post it to Instagram with the hashtag RTOGT, new and noteworthy. All one hashtag, and don't forget to tag us on it at Real Talk on God Talk. You'll be entered for a chance to win, and we will announce the winners on our December 4th episode.
Yes.
So, now that that's out the way, let's give a rundown, YaYa, of what to expect this week.
We'll start with God in the world, where TRUTH will talk a little bit about our God-given responsibility to do our part when it comes to climate change.
Then, we'll explore the real talk question of the week. Can gossip ever be a good thing?
Ooh, scandalous. Then we'll see what's up with community pastoral care.
And we'll end with how things are moving and shaking in the cosmos with Keeping Time with YaYa.
In this week's segment, God in the World, we wanted to talk about plastic. It is everywhere. It's embedded into almost every aspect of our lives, from our food packaging to the building of our homes. But it's totally toxic. It's toxic to both our bodies and the earth. So we ask ourselves, how do we act as responsible stewards of God's creation without having to change our entire lives and going off into the forest to live off grass and berries?
Absolutely. Plastic is one of the most prominent pollutants of our earth and ocean. So we're going to talk about 9 easy ways to use less plastic. Tip 1 is to drink water out of a glass.
Completely
Not too bad,
doable.
Right? Exactly.
Right.
Tip 2, use a stainless water bottle instead of buying the plastic water bottles. Not too bad, just requires more preparation.
Mm.
Tip 3, keep a metal spoon or fork instead of using the plastic ones.
Oh, maybe you could use one of those disposable bamboo ones. Right?
Exactly. And those actually last longer too, so you could just wash them.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's cool. Tip 4, use or purchase wooden toys instead of buying plastic toys for kids and stuff. So read a book.
I know, okay.
Read a book. You'll be all right.
Read a book.
Tip 5, use only real or biodegradable plates.
Mm-hmm.
Tip 6, save glass jars and use them instead of buying Tupperware. You can just use them, reuse them.
Oh, my grandma's all over that already.
Right, exactly. Tip 7 is bring cloth bags to the grocery store. So no more plastic bags. Bring your own bag.
Oh,
I
and
have
you
my
could
own
get
bag.
like a little trendy one, like from like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or something.
Exactly, and you straight. Tip 8 is compost, so you use fewer garbage bags, which is those are the brown garbage bins that are around New York now because they started that initiative.
Okay.
And then tip 9 is to buy grocery items that are packaged in glass instead of plastic whenever possible.
Okay.
So not bad, just a couple of tips that we can use so that our world is filled with less plastic.
I'm going to add a bonus tip 10 for my ladies.
Yes.
When it comes to like menstrual products, I've been trying to kind of cut down on the plastic. And so, I don't know, consider the Diva cup, consider tampons without the applicators, kicking it old school. But, you know, little changes like that make a difference.
And they also have ones too that are like organic. And they said that are actually better for the earth. So those are out there as well. So
Okay.
little Google search won't hurt.
Right?
You can find it.
The power of the Googles.
Exactly.
So this week, we're going to be talking a little bit about gossip. Truth was telling me a little bit about how the topic came up among her and her friends. And so let's start with story time with Truth.
So check it, right? I was having lunch with a couple of my girlfriends. Like, we just here talking, telling each other about like what's going on with our lives and stuff like that. I bring up the conversation about apparently someone that one of my girlfriends knew about. And so I say this person's name, and they're like, girl, I could have told you that had you come and talk to me first. And I was like, what? And then one of my other homegirls was like, you know what? This is why chisme, which is the Spanish word for gossip, is important between women. She's like, because we use it for survival. Because had you known this information, you would have like not given the person this time of day. You would have saved yourself like the headache, the drama, just all the extra that I didn't need. And so that got me to thinking, like, can gossip sometimes be a good thing?
Okay, well, that is a real question and our real talk question of the week. Can gossip sometimes be a good thing? So we actually threw that question out to you all through Instapoll, and here are the results. 69% of you said yes, gossip can sometimes be a good thing, and 31% of you said no.
Ooh.
So we had thrown the question out to you with very little context, and some of you were not feeling that at all.
Yeah, slid into our DMs like, no.
Right. So the real Hanat responded with negative. Like how, Sway? She said, so what are you all defining as gossip? Is it like, oh, big sister Shirley, brother Walter's in the hospital for his heart, so let's go lift his spirits kind of gossip? I'm dying at her kind of gossip. Right. And so we kind of responded with, tell us about what your definition of gossip is. And she says, it's not about how it's used. It's more about how it's shared. Like, what are the giver's intentions? Are you looking to spread info with the hopes of bringing a person down, or are you sharing to lift their spirits? A lot of what she brought up were some valid points that we're going to address during our episode today.
Right. So then what is gossip? So if you ask Google, okay, Google states that gossip is a casual or unconstrained conversation or reports about other people, typically involving details that are not confirmed as being true. Me personally, I prefer the Merriam-Webster definition, which defines gossip as rumor or report of an intimate nature. That intimate nature part is what I appreciate about the definition, because I feel like character falls under that and like behaviors fall under that. And so I feel like that is a part that is essential when we want to talk about like how do we define gossip. So question, YaYa, how do you define gossip?
How do I define gossip? I think for me, gossip really revolves around spreading business that isn't your own. Like, if it's not yours to tell, then you shouldn't say it, like, whether or not it's true. And so for me, if it's a situation that I'm involved in, like even if it's a quote unquote intimate situation, if I'm involved in it and I share that with someone else, that's not inherently gossip, in my opinion.
Right.
It's when I'm sharing someone else's business, whether I heard it, just kind of ear hustling, or they told me
Right.
directly. It's not your business. You shouldn't talk about it, in my opinion.
Right. Gotcha. So for me, I think about gossip as, like I said before, chisme, which is the Spanish word for gossip, which for me, I think it's used to share information about other people, but for your protection. So I've heard many times, like, mothers will tell their daughters, don't give your time of day to so-and-so because he's a mujeriego, which is like he's a womanizer, right? Or don't be hanging out with these people because they're into this, that, and third, and I don't want you around them. So, like, even though that is under the definition of like chisme and gossip, I see it as it comes with like a little warning of like, be careful. Or like, you should know this if you decide to proceed in like this manner.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like for me, like that's how I think about like chisme and gossip. What about you?
It's funny. So you learn something new every day.
Right.
So chisme, for West Indians or for Jamaicans, I'll say, my grandmother always called gossip susu. And between the ages of, let's say, when I started using the phone, I'm aging myself, landline phones, right? So I had a phone in my room.
Right, for real, facts.
From the age of, let's say, 9 to 18, it doesn't matter who I was talking to on the phone. If my grandmother came in the room and heard me on the phone, why are you susuing on the phone? Don't you have a better way to be spending your time just gossiping? And my thing is, I'm looking at her like, lady, you gossip constantly. Like, after church on Sunday, that is the very first thing to do, is to, make her weekly phone calls. And she's calling everybody to talk
Grandma
about
on the main line.
everything. Right. Jesus on the main line. Well, we got grandma on the main line. No, grandma, if you hear this, we love it. But seriously, it comes from a place of care.
Absolutely,
like, similarly to chisme, where it's like, a means of protection. It's a means of reaching out and relating to your community and saying, okay, what's going on with this person? How can we care for this person? What does this person need?
Right.
And often the things that we most need are the things that we try to keep a secret and where we might be ashamed of putting into the forefront. And so I think, culturally, I can see some connections in terms of like,
but like for protection. And for just like shifting you in a way where you can make a better decision.
Right.
As opposed to, well, we're going to talk about this guy and all the stuff that he's done, which is not relevant at all to anything or anyone near me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's completely, like I feel like that's completely different. So with all that, like with these definitions that we have, tell us about what the Bible says about gossip. YaYa?
Okay. So, Proverbs 20:19 goes in for the gusto and just goes in.
No mercy.
I know, right? A gossip betrays a confidence. So avoid anyone who talks too much. You chat too much. Right. And right? No, there's so many cultural things that we have to kind of warn us from talking too much and how our mouth can get us into trouble.
Right, exactly.
And according to the Reverend Dr. Matt Mitchell, author of Resisting Gossip, the Hebrew word nigran is the root word that's used to describe the evil grumblings of the people of Israel in their tents in Deuteronomy. And it really connotes complaint and criticism.
Gotcha.
And so I think that the negativity can really come around like the criticism. Like, why are you spreading this information?
Right.
Is it to like tear someone down, to point out their faults, which, we all know is not a good thing.
Of course, yeah.
And then, according to handy dandy Wikipedia, the Hebrew term lashon hara is prohibited in Leviticus 19:16, and lashon hara is literally translated as evil tongue. And so it's a term for derogatory speech about another person. Where the distinction is made with this is that it doesn't matter whether or not the speech is true. Is it derogatory? And so something like if someone is accused of something and I might know it's true, but like you were saying earlier, if it has nothing to do with anything with me
right.
or, protecting or helping someone I love, why am I bringing this information to light? Like, for what
Absolutely.
purposes?
For what purpose, exactly.
And so it seems like the Bible really does have something to say about the distinction between good gossip, quote unquote, and bad gossip. And it really has to do with, like, how are we relating to other people? Like, are we building them up or are we tearing them down?
Right. And then I think the other thing is I was actually reading this really interesting article by John Jack Daniels in which he talks about gossip in the New Testament. And he talks about gossip and the ways in which gossip is culturally embedded in us. So he basically states that gossip plays a crucial role in constructing social identities. And so a lot of like scholars today analyze like the social behavior and the identity and like the rhetoric that was used in order to construct like the view of the ancient world. So he goes in.
So just let me make sure I'm following. So basically, scholars look at the ways in which gossip was used in the ancient world and how it kind of like builds what we know about the ancient world. Like without gossip, we kind of wouldn't know anything.
Right, pretty much. So it's like he goes in to say how like in Mark 8:27-30, where it's like Peter's declaration about Jesus, where Jesus asks his disciples, who do people say that I am? Right? And the disciples respond with like John the Baptist, some say Elijah, and others say one of the prophets. And then Jesus go and he asks all of them again, but who do you say that I am? And Peter answers, you are the Messiah. So it's like all of these different names that were given to Jesus of John the Baptist or Elijah or a prophet, they all come from somewhere. So when Jesus was out here like exercising like demons and like taking out evil spirits and stuff like that, like some people praised him for that. And they saw him as a healer, and other people like demonized him and like, oh, he working for the underworld.
Right.
so it's
like, could you imagine?
Right. And like Jesus was just out here just doing his thing, trying to live life. And so like all these different gossips constructed all the different ways that people viewed him and his like personhood. And how it was spread. So like we often hear in the Bible like many different times like, and like his teaching spread, or like people came from all different parts. Well, how you think they came from different parts? Hello, gossip,
tweet.
Right. There wasn't tweeting. There wasn't on Instagram. like like it was literally word of mouth. And so it was just really interesting to see how far back gossip actually goes. When I read that, I was like, oh, so there was good gossip about Jesus, and there was also bad gossip about Jesus, like depending on how people addressed him.
And I think it's interesting, even if you look at like the Gospels period, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, right? How is it that we have 4 books with completely different ideas as to who Jesus was, what the ministry was about, what's the point of this whole thing? It's because when you hear a single story, you're going to get so many different. It's like a game of telephone kind of. And it's like, in this case, gospel is gossip.
Right? Exactly.
Right. And gossip is good. And it makes me kind of think of like, kind of how the term gossip, is a negative term and used in a negative light, and how often it's gendered. Like whether or not gossip is seen as good or bad depends on whether or not it's coming from a woman or a femme person or men. Like in this case, coming from the disciples, in the case of like religion, it's a good thing. Like clearly,
exactly, it's okay,
it's great.
We can all talk about it.
But when women do it, there's all these stereotypes about the woman that talks too much, the gossip, the nag, things around that nature. It's never like shed in a positive light as a way to relate. It's a woman's way of relating, bringing in, sharing intimacies.
Absolutely.
That
because
aren't always a bad thing.
It's like if you go to the salon, right, and you talking, every dude will tell you, oh, y'all just gossiping. Boy, what you do at the barbershop? Okay.
Speak on it.
Come on. Like, and I know because I'll have my boys like literally like on Twitter or like Facebook or something, writing about the stuff that they're talking about in the barbershop, and like just cracking up. And I'm like, y'all are a mess, first of all. Like y'all can't say nothing about us like doing the same thing just because it's in a different place. Like y'all in a barbershop, we in a salon. So what? We doing the same thing.
I've never seen crazier gossip than on Sports Center. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo,
like,
facts,
so my
though.
husband has me watching Sports Center religiously. Cool, I'm with it. Whatever.
Yeah.
The way that they talk about these athletes, I'm
Yo,
like, where's the
facts.
sports? Because I'm hearing a lot of center.
Right, exactly. You hear all
Like,
about their build,
all about
and
their
they're doing
build,
this,
who
that,
they
and
married
third.
to, what they
Right.
wearing on the
What may be
sidelines,
distracting them.
what are they doing with their free time. I'm
Right.
like, I just want to hear about the game
Right,
last night,
exactly.
you know? And so that brings up the question of celebrity culture.
Right.
Right?
Because there is this celebrity gossip culture, right? We got tabloids. We got the rise of reality TV. We got sites like the Shade Room. Hey, Shade Room, we love y'all.
Feature us.
Damn. We got Baller Alert, right? All this reality TV and sites like this are a lucrative business at the end of the day, right? There is a reason why everybody was tuning in to Cardi and Nicki when that tea was spilling. Like, there was a reason why those posts have so many views, you know? So it's like, do you participate in celebrity culture? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, YaYa. Like, I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. No lie, like, I do. Okay, I'll go through like the Shade Room. I'll like see all like the stories of what's going on. If I hear something on the radio, I will go and look it up, like, because I want to know. I'm like, oh man, what's going on? But like, I don't take it seriously because I really don't feel it's 100% fact.
Right.
So it's
Right.
like, this is just something to kind of like distract me throughout the day. Just something like, it's like when you say mindless TV. It's kind of like that. I'm like, all right, it's cool. I do agree that there are like some things that people go too far with, but for the most part, I'm just cracking up at all the stuff I see, and then I'm reading the comments.
Right.
You know?
Gotta
what
be
do
in the
you-
comment section.
Right, exactly. So what do you think? Do you participate in like celebrity gossip culture?
So I do. It is a real guilty pleasure. And so it's like actually a guilty pleasure for me because I think I just have a strong super ego. I hear my grandmother's voice in my head when it comes to like gossip. And so I'm always
Facts.
like really, I try to be careful about not wanting to say something that I wouldn't want
Right, absolutely.
said again.
Yeah, of course.
When it comes to celebrities, I like you. First thing in the morning, I'm so bad. Like I look at the time. Okay, is it time to get out of bed? And then I'm straight to the blogs. You know, just
Yes.
seeing because you get some real news on there too.
You
But anyway,
do. You do.
back to the celebrity stuff. So yes, I do. Like I have my couple of celebrities like the Beyoncés, the Rihannas, where I basically like I might as well be Auntie YaYa because I know what's going on with them.
Right.
But also like you, I think because I just know that this is all fake,
Right.
it's less serious to me. So
Yeah.
I would be more prone to spread something that's going on with a celebrity because this is how they get paid. This is how they
Right.
make their money. And so it's like, okay, on one hand, it's gossip, it's quote unquote bad, but
Right.
on another hand, they perpetrate it more.
That's
like they
it.
live for this stuff.
Yeah,
This is where they get
exactly.
their big dollar bills from. And so I don't feel too bad about that. It's when like gossip culture, because like stuff like tea and shade.
Yeah.
First, let's not even talk about the ways that it's been appropriated from gay culture, from Black women's culture. Like
Right.
there's a million things to talk about like that. But
Right.
when we're just going to talk about just the content, when we're talking about tea and shade, it's one thing to just spread something, I guess, but it kind of like fosters a meanness in people
Yeah.
that I don't like.
Absolutely.
Like even reading through the comment sections, it's like because you're talking about somebody else's life that to you is fake or whatever, the way that people talk about them.
yeah, it's,
It's like
it's
wow,
a thing.
right?
It's a thing. Yeah.
And I think that it just like that dynamic has kind of like spread over into
Yeah.
real life. And so like I'll hear when like, when people are spreading gossip about people in our lives, people that
Right.
we know, it's like you can't just be mean. Like you
Right,
can't
exactly.
just talk about people like that.
Right.
I mean, you can, but I think that you shouldn't.
Right. Exactly.
And so, yeah, that's
And I think that's where there is a difference, right? With like celebrity gossip culture. If like if it's fake and we're just enjoying it for the
little
ha-has
laugh.
and the hee-hees,
Yeah.
But I think when it gets to the point where I see people like actually taking it to heart or like being rude to the point where they start threatening or like I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
first of all, you just heard about something else in your life and you need to go get that fixed because everybody else on here is like just like laughing, clowning, and you out here just being mad for what reason?
But that's so true that you're just heard about something going on in your life. I think just even outside of celebrity gossip culture, just gossiping in general, I think gives a person an opportunity to not look inward.
Right.
And look outward. And often a lot of things that we gossip about are the things that we either wish we had, wish we could do, you know, or we see wrong in ourselves.
Right.
And it's just looking at somebody else and talking about that other person like makes us feel better or empowered in like a negative way.
Just hearing from your definition earlier about gossip and how it's used, and then also mine, it's used more to share information, but not to share it in a mean way. So you can talk about so-and-so is out here being a womanizer, right? But not in the hopes that your daughter will be deterred from talking to him. not like, and so like after you say that he's a womanizer, you kind of just end it there and keep it pushing. But when you go that extra step of like calling him a womanizer and then like you even dissing his mama, like,
right, like
you took a little bit too far.
Rein it in a little bit.
You know, it's like you took a little too far. But in that sense, I feel like that is when gossip is or can be helpful, because now we're talking about things that would benefit like my own personal being. And so there are people who, like all of us, right, just don't have it all together. That's everybody. None of us have it all together. But there are some people who just don't see what they do at all. And so they keep repeating like these patterns of like hurting people. And so if someone in your life is like, listen, don't approach this person, don't do that, so and so and so, they're not doing it to be mean about the other person. They're just trying to look out for you because, you know, the other person is probably oblivious to what they're doing. And so if we can't approach that person, you know, or anything, then the closest thing you're going to do is go to the person that you care about and be like, listen, don't go there. Don't do that. Save yourself the headache.
Yeah. And I think gossip also, like, when you talk about gossip, it has a negative connotation. But if we're just talking about the spreading of information, it's a lot of different factors to take in before you say, you know, is it good or is it bad? I think gossip, the spreading of intimate information, can be a good thing, that it allows you to talk about things that you would otherwise be afraid to talk about or that you can't talk about, especially when it comes to like among women sexual type things. It's like often those things will be taboo, but it's in those instances of quote unquote gossiping or suing or whatever that you can gain some important information. I know in my younger years, it was like information about this really sexual health stuff especially came through like those intimate type conversations that otherwise like like how do you reach out and say things that may otherwise be embarrassing or that you're uncomfortable with. And so that's definitely something to think about. And so it seems like gossip is everywhere. It's in celebrity culture. It's in how we relate to one another. It's in the Bible. But when we ask ourselves, you know, is it good gossip or is it bad gossip? We hope that we left you with some things to think about. Why are you gossiping? Who are you gossiping to? What's the intention? What's the effect? And we just hope that you know, you move forward aware.
That's it. To keep the conversation going, tell us what you think by following us on Instagram or Twitter at Real Talk On Godtalk.
So this week on Community Pastoral Care, one of our listeners sent this in to us. I'll read it. Dear YaYa and TRUTH, I have a lot of big decisions coming up that I need to make in a short amount of time. Decisions that will impact my life for a long time going forward. I've been praying and planning nonstop, but it feels like I'm just not getting any answers. I don't know how to move forward with my life. Can you pray for me?
Yes, absolutely. We can pray for you. So wherever you are, let's just gather so we can send our prayers. Creator and sustainer of everything that is good, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the breath in our lungs. We thank you for everything that you do. And we are bringing into prayer our listener who sent us in this letter as they are in the midst of making big decisions. Give them clarity in their ears to hear you, clarity in their mind. Surround them with people who will uplift them, who will give them good advice, who will stand in prayer with them, who will encourage them and give them hope. Let them know that they are not alone. Give them the peace that they need to hear your voice and the way you communicate and the way you give messages. We lift them up and we pray for them in your many names. Amen.
Amen. And if you're listening to this and you are also in need of discernment and prayer, we hope that it applies. Hey y'all, today is Tuesday, November 20th, and you're listening to Keeping Time with YaYa. It's my birthday today.
Happy birthday!
I'm just going to use this time to celebrate myself. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear YaYa. Happy birthday to me. Yay! If you want to give me a birthday gift, here's a free idea. Find a way to do something nice and celebrate yourself today as well. We all deserve it. Also, Thanksgiving is coming up on the 22nd, so let's take a moment to honor the indigenous peoples who are still struggling to protect their lands and peoplehood in the United States, as well as remembering to give thanks to the divine for all that sustains us. Lastly, it's the moon reading. We're approaching the full moon on November 23rd. It's the second to last full moon of the year, leading into the very last cycle. As we get closer to the end of the year, we are moving into the last month in December. Let's get our stuff together. Let's take stock. There's nothing else to wait for. We're reaching the end. It's your time. Take that leap of faith now.
Thank you for listening to Real Talk on Godtalk, a podcast for people who skip church for brunch on Sundays. Remember to participate in our Real Talk on Godtalk new and noteworthy giveaway on Instagram.
Woo woo!
All right, so you can win yourself some Real Talk on Godtalk swag. Again, a lovely ceramic coffee mug with the Real Talk on Godtalk logo and our tagline. All you have to do is go on to iTunes, rate and review us, screenshot your rating, and post it to Instagram with the hashtag RTOGT, new and noteworthy, all one hashtag, and tag us at Real Talk on Godtalk. Then we'll announce the winners on our December 4th episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Love you guys. I don't believe in God. I know God.
I love me some Jesus.
He's doing too much.
That's crazy. That's on the next episode.
It's the moon reading.
I rock with you, YaYa.
It's all love.
They better listen to this advice. We good.
You crazy girl.
This is what this show is about, all right? We
With
keep
the
it real.
real and real talk, the God